Home equity line of credit versus a credit card. In this video, we're going to talk about just that. Do you use your home equity line? Do you use a credit card? I'm actually going to add in a line of credit. Which one do you use? There's so much money available to you, but you have to be responsible in your choices. Let's talk about a HELOC, what it is and when you should get it, and then specifically some of the mistakes that people still make with their credit cards. So let's begin. What is a line of credit? So a line of credit is essentially at your bank. That's typically where you're going to get a line of credit. Now, some credit cards actually extend lines of credit with some very specific use. And I'll use American Express as an example. I've been using them since the 80s. And I have enormous lines of credit. And I can call them and say that I've got to do a business purchase, and they'll give me more and more lines. And I'm not paying any interest until I draw down on that line. The other use of lines of credit that's very normal, I guess, in the world that I live in, are lines of credit from a bank. And I typically use them in real estate or in some construction projects. So it's a drawdown loan. So you're only paying interest when you draw on the loan. So those of you out there saying, well, what I get a line of credit for? You could get it with a really good business plan. Let's just say you had a great business, you had a great business plan, a good revenue model, a use of funds, a management team, all the things that a bank or financial institute are going to want. They actually would give you a line of credit to do a technical business. They would give you a line of credit to do an invention. I've seen that with Kevin Harrington and others before. Get huge lines of credit to go develop an invention. So a lot of you, your project can completely be funded by a bank, but it requires a really good business plan, a revenue model, a use of funds, and management team forecast. You have to have it all. You just can't walk in and say, I have a great idea. See, a lot of you have ideas, you don't have deals, and that's why they're not getting funded. That's also why you're not getting credit cards, because you actually haven't shown or proven you're responsible for what you have. There's actually a biblical term. It's you're not getting any more. If you can't be responsible for the little bit you have, you're not getting any more. So get responsible for the little bit. Like, manage your credit cards properly, pay them off every month. And you say, yeah, but I'm just not making enough money to do that. Well, solve the right problem. Go make some money. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you 2 tickets to my marketplace, a place where you can come every 3 weeks and make money. There's 50, 70 to 100 people every 3 weeks. Are you kidding? If you can't make $50 to $100, I've had people make $7,000, $19,000, 21 is the most made in 2 days in my marketplace. You can do this. Now, let's talk a little more, and I'm going to be specific and actually read this off of a chart of some distinctions between a line of credit and a credit card. So lines of credit are bigger ticket items, usually for business expenses. Credit cards, typically more consumer expenses. Personally, I don't believe in any of those. I do everything through corporate life, so I have business credit cards. Do you need proof of income? And this is also for a HELOC. At every one of them, you're going to. Now, the credit card, for some of the applications, if you're only going for little bits, you're just going to have to put some money in an application that, yeah, you're making some money. They're not going to loan or give a credit card to somebody not making any money. All that being said, I do a lot of work with student athletes who are on big scholarships and now getting NIL money, which is name, image, and likeness money. But they also have a personal training business, a nutrition business, they're tutoring, they're doing something else on the side. And every one of those men or women that are 18 years old or more, I encourage them heavily, get an LLC, write it all off as proper deductions, and get your credit card in the company name. So as you can see, I'm leaning all of this towards corporate life, from credit card use to the lines of credit. And believe me, the more you use credit cards properly, which is pay them off, never pay them off all at one time. Pay them off staggered throughout the month. Use them, always have money in the system. You want a financial institute to look at you like you're viable, like you're making money, you're spending money. There's money coming here, there's money going there. You're super active. Too many people want their financial life to be just done for them, just simple. I'm going to ACH my check, and I'm going to auto pay my bills, and I'm going to live oblivious. That's 90% of the planet. That's why 90% are broke. So you can stay broke or get rich and lean in and learn. So while we're there, I would need you to subscribe to my channel. I want you to click the notification button, say absolutely. I'm going to be here 5 days a week. I want you to commit at least 10 to 15 minutes. Wake up with me every morning. Say, all right, this is what I'm going to learn today. This is what I'm going to understand today. Share this with as many people as you can. Please, please, please. And comment if there's other things that you want to learn from me. Now let's get back to the lines of credit, and I'm in a HELOC at this moment. Lines of credit, they can go anywhere from as low as $25,000, and depending on how much money you've made in the past, I know people have gotten up to $1 million. I personally have that on my own. Credit cards, you're usually going to get maybe $5,000, $10,000. If you're really good, you're going to get, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000. If your business is good, you could get as much as $100,000, $150,000. Like, you could get a ton of money. Now let's go to the HELOC. What is a home line of credit? Right? It offers homeowners a way to tap into their current equity. So you can tap into your equity, you go to the bank, and yes, you have to pay it back. The difference if you take a HELOC versus a line of credit or a credit card is the interest that you pay back on the HELOC is actually deductible, as is your one big benefit. The downside of a HELOC, in my mind, is that people don't use them properly. Instead of going out and saying, I'm going to go make some more money, they pull the equity out of their house to go waste it, buy cars, big screen TV stuff, instead of actually make repairs. And by the way, kitchens and bathrooms are where you're going to get the highest value in your valuation of your home. So if you're truly selling your home, it's a great short-term way to grab some cash, get some higher valuation, so when you're getting ready to sell your house, you pay the whole thing off. That's a good way to do it. I see a lot of people just taking HELOCs and diluting the value of their house. You still got to pay it off. You still got to pay all these off, by the way. So what's the answer to pay it all off? Make a bunch of money. Go to my search terms up above, and I have tons of videos about how to make money in whatever decade you live in, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. You can always make money. You always make money with me on a regular basis. So let me give you an example, personal example of a really well done line of credit, a $200,000 line of credit. I got it for 2%. So years and years ago, I lived in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was buying laundromats. And my son was super young, super fun business for him to go in and get, mounds and mounds and, bags of coin that he couldn't even carry because he was so little. There was just so many quarters. And I had put so much money, deposits, into this one bank. I went to the bank and I said, I would like a line of credit to buy a second laundromat. And they said, well, you have $200,000. Why do you need $200,000 for us? I said, well, I've put enough money into this bank and you get to 10x it and arbitrage and use it for other loans. It's time that we're partners. So I would like a 0% loan. And they laughed. And I said, go to committee and ask what you can get. I'm a huge business owner here. I put a lot of deposits in. My money's out making a lot of other money. My money's out making 12, 15%. I would like your money, your line of credit for $200,000. They came back and gave me a 2% loan for 6 years to buy a laundromat. That's the bank's money, 100% line of credit. And yes, I had a lot of other money in the bank, but it was invested in other things. But they knew that I had high value and I would get it to them and I would start making payments. But can you do the math? That was pretty much free. And after I owned it, the laundromat, we cleaned it up, we tidied it up. I had a vending machine, added more cash to it. I sold it. I paid the $200 back, plus the 2% interest, took the rest in profit. There you go. So believe me, for those of you who really want to learn to play the credit card game, the line of credit game, the HELOC game, I know how to do it. Just do it responsibly and don't dilute your house for some frivolous spending because you want something. Now, before we leave, again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, click that button, notification every day that you get this. And so I'm going to be with you 5 days a week. I want you also to go down and click on another link. It says Financial Personality Quiz. I want you to take the quiz. I want you to see which category you're in. And then from whichever category you're in, I'm going to send you out an application. You're going to have a review with one of my team members, see what's right for you. Maybe just show up my marketplace as your next step and learn more about how this lifestyle of being a millionaire works. And then from there, there's also a link, click on it, please, which is makeyourkidsmillionaires.com. Go buy my book. Because that book is a guide, 0 to 18. And you know what? Even if you're not a millionaire, start at 0, and parents, just play the catch-up game. Look at all the things that you need to put in your life today to catch up, and then be right there as you create generational wealth with you and your kids. I'll see you tomorrow.